One day, I came home early because a colleague offered to cover my shift. I was pretty tired, so I accepted and went home. Arriving home, I found them in bed having you-know-what. Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, I'm going to go over a story titled, I Purposely Ruined My Cousin and Ex's Wedding and It's Brought Me a Lot of Happiness. And guys, what we have here is just a classic revenge story. A story about a guy who was definitely hurt by the people that he thought truly had his back. His cousin and his now ex-girlfriend. You're going to see in the story, guys, just like in the little intro, he comes home to see them doing the dirty deed in his bed, if not of all places. And as you can imagine, tore him apart. But down the road, an opportunity arises for him to get some serious revenge, and he takes it. And as you can imagine, guys, there are people that will think that he went too far. Other people think that it was warranted. I'll leave that up to you to decide, because everybody's different in their opinions. But definitely this guy, in my opinion, deserves some payback. So, getting into it, he says here, I once looked up to my cousin. I thought he was a great guy, and we were close like brothers. I was also dating a girl. I was deeply in love with her and planned to marry her someday. I thought my life was perfect. How many guys have said that? One day, I came home early because a colleague offered to cover my shift. I was pretty tired, so I accepted and went home. Arriving home, I found them in bed having you-know-what. Both of them were shocked, to say the least. I told them I wanted them to be gone by the time I got back and left the house. They were gone by the time I did get back, but she left me a note saying she was so sorry and to call her when I calmed down. I didn't call her. I texted her saying I'd gather her things and drop them off my cousin's in a few days and that she's staying with him for now, not me. Calm down, telling him to calm down. I think this guy has every right to be pretty worked up here to find his love of his life in bed with his cousin. Now here's a question. Who's the bigger piece of crap here? The girl or the cousin? I say the cousin because that's family, that's blood, and I looked up to him. And she's a piece of garbage too, of course, because she's cheating, and of course, with this guy's cousin. And by the way, I wouldn't go drop her stuff off at that guy's place. I put her stuff in garbage bags put out by the curb and say, you better get your ass over here and pick it up before the garbage man comes and takes it away. I followed through with that. It took about a week to transfer everything. Both of them tried to apologize, but I didn't have anything nice to say to them, so I said nothing. I just knocked on the door and handed the bags over to whomever answered the door before leaving. What do you think I apologize for? My cousin called me multiple times to try and apologize, but I refused to accept it. Good. Screw him. 3 years have passed since then. I went no contact with them. I didn't bring it up to the rest of the family or any of their friends. I'm not sure why. I just didn't. I got a call from a number one day that I didn't recognize, so I answered it. It was my cousin. He sounded really happy and was excited and acted like he hadn't destroyed my life. He explained that he and my ex were getting married and he wanted me to be his best man. You gotta be shitting me. He was cheating with this girl, this guy's girlfriend. He walks in his house, his bed, he's nailing his girl, and 3 years later this guy doesn't talk to him and now he wants him to be, excuse me guys, wants to be the best man at his wedding. This is one element where I'm a little questionable whether this story is accurate, but you never know. People are that screwed up. Best man my ass. He explained that he and my ex were getting married and he wanted me to be his best man. I was so angry that he had the utter gall to act like nothing was wrong and lost my temper. I yelled at him and called him names before finally hanging up. He sent me a text telling me that the offer still stood, and if I didn't want to be his best man, he simply wouldn't have one. Does this guy have no other friends? Imagine that. Maybe now we can see why he was hooking up with this girl, because she probably gave him some attention. A few days passed by, and I had an idea. I texted him back and apologized. I sent a paragraph of BS saying I was still angry, but this could be an opportunity for the three of us to heal and move past it. He was overjoyed. He was overjoyed for the three of us and said he'd pay back. Let me backtrack here. I messed this up. He was overjoyed and said he'd pay for everything, and he helped me pick out a suit if I wanted. which I accepted because I sure as shit wasn't going to spend any money on his stupid wedding if I could help it. Hey, get a free suit out of it. And again, if this is true, this dumb mother, you know what, actually thinks that this guy is going to be okay with it and be the best man and not see any potential pitfalls and problems having this guy. Because remember, there's a thing called the best man speech. Hint, hint. The wedding day came. I had spent the week prior writing a speech, putting all the negative feelings I had bottled up over the years into words on paper. The wedding was pretty good. I'm sure one of them has a nice, well-paying job or something because they must have spent a decent bit of money on this wedding from how nice it was. Our entire family was there, as was a decent chunk of my ex's family. What a perfect opportunity for revenge. Eventually, the time came for my speech. I just remember feeling really nervous as it built up and my voice kept faltering when I was reading it out. But I didn't, and I still don't care. At least I got it out. I explained what these two horrible people had done to me. I called them the worst names I could think of and wished them the worst. Then I left. I was expecting some kind of dramatic moment from all the guests, gasps of shock and all, but there was none of that. Everyone was silent. Yeah, because they were probably absolutely shocked that this thing was happening. I've been to some weddings and I've heard some pretty god-awful best man speeches, drunken idiots and all, but never anything like this. And remember, this is the family that apparently he hasn't talked to and had no idea what was going on. Those two a-holes deserved it. On my way home, I got a call from my mother angrily telling me that I ruined the wedding for both of them, and they were so upset, and she asked me why would I do this. I told her that they deserved it for what they did to me, and everything that I said in the speech was true. She kept defending them, so I swore at her and hung up. Understandably, Mom had no idea, which is crazy, but still, once he told her, she should have been on his side. Since then, I've gotten several calls and texts from others in my family and my exes saying and they were angry that I ruined the wedding. I've also received a few texts from people who were there being supportive and telling me they were there if I need to talk. Good. Stay in touch with the people that have your back and kick everybody else to the curb that doesn't have your back. That's how it goes. I'm not sure if I feel better having done this, but it did bring me great pleasure when people were telling me that the wedding was ruined. At least now they felt at least a fraction of what they made me feel. Hey, screw them. Revenge is a dish best served cold. He says, just a little edit to address some common questions. Number one, as far as I'm aware, the rest of the family wasn't aware of her cheating on me. They likely knew we were dating at some point, then we weren't. I've learned from previous stuff that I can't rely on my family for any kind of support, so I've been on low contact with them since I moved out of my parents' house, which is why I didn't mention this to anyone in my family. Okay, so already there's issues with his family, which is why he moved out. It has nothing to do with them, really. That's why I didn't talk to them. Number two, a lot of people are asking for the speech transcript. I wrote it in a Google Doc and read it out from my phone. The delivery was kind of lackluster. I sounded like I was going to cry and tripped over my words, but I managed to read it all out. It isn't verbatim, which I said, but it's very close as I was reading from this a general script. And here is his thing. He says, "Hello, everyone. I'm not very good at public speaking, so apologies in advance." This is his speech. "It's an honor to be at this wedding, and an even greater honor to be the best man. I was shocked that I was even invited at all, since the last time I spoken to the bride and groom was when I found them effing in my own bed." He says, "Such and such was my partner at the time, you see, but I don't think she got the memo that when you're dating someone, you don't F their cousin in your partner's own bed." God, I would have loved to have seen that. "And it wasn't like such and such didn't know we were dating either. Who knows how long this slimy cunt was effing her behind my back. Weeks, months, who knows. For those unaware, my ex and I had been dating for 2 years. I loved her with all my heart and was actually saving up to get a proposal ring. Maybe if my ex wasn't such a WHORE, my cousin would be giving the speech instead, and I would have been struggling with mental health for 3 years. Anyway, I heard 50% of marriages end in divorce. I hope yours is a messy one. From the bottom of my heart, fuck you both. You ruined my life, and I'll never forgive either of you." Holy crap. That's quite a speech. Again, I'd love to see that one. So, warranted or gone too far? You guys can think about that before you comment away. Now, he provides a little update here as to what was been going on, because that was posted months ago, and now he has a little update. And then I'm going to go through some comments. He says here, hey, it's been a while. A lot has happened. Yeah, I can imagine. I haven't logged into Reddit other than to look at my messages that I've gotten whenever I see a notification in my email. It has helped, and it's good to know that people still think about me at this time later after reading words on the screen. Hell, the most recent private message I got was 4 hours ago as typing this, and the most recent notification on my post was 10 minutes ago. I haven't responded to any because I don't really know how to begin doing so. I'd feel bad giving this short thank you, and I'm not really creative enough to come up with over 20 good responses. I do appreciate the supportive words, though. Reddit seems to be very therapeutic for guys, and they definitely like hearing the good support. Some stuff has happened since the whole mess that was my cousin's wedding. My mom tried to talk to me. She said she saw the post I had made. I pushed away for a few days before finally speaking to her. I'm struggling to find words to describe how things worked out between us. The easiest way to explain is that we agreed to disagree on whether what I'd done was correct. I got a mix of messages from those who were present at the wedding, some supportive, some telling me off. I was struggling a lot. I just got back to simply functioning, like I was before the wedding. After I came down from getting my own back, I don't at all regret what I did, and I still feel satisfied that I got payback. Payback is warranted to this guy. Now, we can go back and forth whether they should have done this or not. I'm at a point in my life, middle-aged guy who's 44, who's been through a lot, seen a lot, and you realize that at the end of the day, sometimes, even though you're desiring some payback, and believe me, it feels good and warranted, there's a point where maybe you don't cross the line because that just brings more drama into your life. Because let me tell you this guy, this cousin of his who's a piece of crap, we can all agree there, he married a cheater. Right? And once a cheater, always a cheater. She was cheating on his cousin. Not just she was cheating in general, but also cheating with this guy's cousin. So in my opinion, it's only a matter of time, but she'll do the same thing to this guy. And that's called karma, amongst many other things. So he'll get it and she'll get it. Just my opinion on the subject. Anyhow, he says here, I was making plans to take my own life back about a month after the wedding. I hadn't told anyone for obvious reasons but my mom, my uncle, and my cousin. The same cousin whose wedding I ruined. I came to me and told them that they'd pay for a private counselor since the mental health department of NHS is under-equipped, to say the least. This guy, nobody should think of ending it all because of some piece of crap girl and piece of crap relative or whatever anybody does to you, okay? Life is short, okay? There are awful people in this world, and they will betray and do all these things, and we can all lose our hopes and whatever on humanity, but nobody's worth ending it all for, okay? Yes, get help. And that's good to hear that the family are trying to help him out. A guy can rebuild. Anybody, man or woman, can rebuild and start over. You lose hope in humanity and all that, but you don't let them bring you down. I went to therapy. I found a counselor who was very helpful. He taught me a lot. I got diagnosed with PTSD caused by the discovery of the affair. He's been a big help to me and has encouraged me to give casual dating a try to build confidence. To build confidence in myself and get used to rejection as a normal part of my life. I wouldn't recommend casual dating in today's world of the Tinderellas, 2022, these types of gals nowadays that you guys are all aware of, as a way for this guy who's been thinking about ending it all to build back his confidence. That's a bad idea. In my opinion, what this therapist should be doing is encouraging this guy to do everything he can to build himself up. Get him out there in the world. Join a gym. Get him moving. If he's been sitting around the couch being depressed all the time, which one can understand, to get off that couch. Go for a walk. Get out of the house. Ride a bike. Take up a hobby. Go to the gym. Lift weights. Do cardio. Eat better. He'll start feeling better. Start doing things with his friends, the family members he does like, enjoying himself, pursuing his hobbies. Maybe going out there to join and make new friends. Maybe joining a martial arts school, a boxing club, something like that to socialize, be active, and he'll start feeling better. Then start addressing the issues, working on himself, self-help types of things, to figure out maybe where he went wrong here, where he went wrong there in life. Maybe he was too much of a nice guy before. I don't know what. But just throwing him out there to try casual dating in today's world to build his confidence, that's only going to shatter his confidence. That's only going to make him want to end things quicker. It's a bad idea. But anyhow, so I signed up for a few dating sites, although I'm avoiding Tinder like the plague. Well, thank the Lord for that. My counselor specifically suggested I stay as far away from Tinder as possibly can. I've not been very successful in that avenue, but it's pretty much in line with what I was expecting. I've talked to a few people and even got a date scheduled, but she stood me up and ghosted me, which hurt. What'd I say? And by the way, this guy, aside from the fact that that's not going to build his confidence, he's not in a state to date because obviously he's depressed and unhappy, and he'll be susceptible to parasites out there that will take advantage of him. They'll see it a mile away. When he's feeling better about himself, then if he wants to, then he can try dating. But quite frankly, I wouldn't blame him after this whole fiasco. So I'm doing good though, much better. I don't have offing myself thoughts anymore. Whenever I'm feeling especially like crap, I like to open up to Reddit and read your supportive messages. That's all for now. I'll probably start using this account on a more regular basis, so you may see more of me. Well, bro, that's quite a story, and I wish you all the best. And again, you guys can type away what you think that this was warranted or not. In my opinion, that cousin of his and his ex, they deserve some bad things to happen to him. And like I said, it no doubt will. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Give her time. When she gets bored with this cousin of his, she'll cheat as well, because that's just her way of doing things. And this guy, things will happen to her as well. Now, real quick, I got some comments here because they're always fun to read. One guy says, LOL, that's savage. Honestly, what did they expect you to do except the fact that he stabbed that knife in your back and basically causes you so much anguish and hurt? I'm amazed they were stupid enough to invite you. Yeah, how dumb is that to not only invite him to the wedding, but be the best man? Now, again, we can kind of wonder if this is all true, but given that it is. Another one says, it's the fact that your cousin had the audacity to ask you to be the best man at his wedding with your ex that cheated on you with him. He's a complete idiot, if nothing else. You don't go from not speaking to each other for years after a conflict/betrayal to asking the person who hurt you to be the best man at your wedding. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. They deserve what they got for hurting you and then inviting you to their wedding to hurt you again. Another guy says, LOL, cousin is an absolute idiot to marry her. She tried to apologize and contact the original poster multiple times. That showed that she still didn't want to be with the cousin, but with the OP. She's still a piece of crap, of course, but because OP never took her back, she stayed with him. That marriage will go up in flames, just give it a little time. Yeah, even marriages that start off in a good place, if you will, the odds are 60% are going to end in divorce. But when you have a marriage, this is the foundation of their marriage, it's definitely going to go up in flames. Add one more for fun. This guy says, if that's true, you're an effing boss. That's a lesson to anyone who thinks they can get away with it with you. Nobody gave a crap that they stabbed you in the back, but when you paid them the favor, suddenly they care. To me, this is just a nice filter for you. Keep those who supported you and get rid of the rest except your mom. I don't blame the girl as much as your cousin, and anyone can fall in love with a twat, and there's another fish in the sea. No pun intended. But when the stabbing comes from your own blood, that's indescribable. So there you go, guys. Good old revenge story for a Monday. Warranted or not warranted, who knows? He deserved revenge. One can argue whether that went too far at the wedding, but I think those two definitely, their relationship, their marriage is going to go up in flames, and it's just a matter of time. You can set your watch to it. But anyhow, again, for this guy, I wish him the best. And it goes to show you guys, we can all go through hell, but we got to pick up and move on, okay? And ending it all over some girl or some guy or anybody that hurts you, life is short. Unless somebody can prove to me that there is life after death, that, future lives, a heaven, I don't know what. Until then, we got one shot. Don't waste it on because somebody else messed with you or whatever. It's not worth it. You can lose your faith in humanity, but hey, you can always get a great dog, okay? And live like a hermit and do what you like. But ending it all, not worth it. So I wish this guy the best. He's got to work on himself in all areas of his life, and I guarantee you, he'll feel better. And remember all these lessons the next time he gets involved with a woman. So, all right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Again, warranted. He went too far, not far enough, or just right. I'd like to hear your thoughts about this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.